This course, we're going to cover put options. And the course agenda is that we'll do a brief recap of the call option in the previous course and a brief recap of the real estate example. And then we're going to get into the definition of put options. We'll be comparing what put options are and what call options are and what are the differences between the two. Then we look at the factors affecting options pricing. And this is again another topic that we covered in detail in call options. It's the same factors that affect call options are going to affect put options also. There is absolutely no difference. And then we're going to take a real world example of a put option. Fortunately, in the real world, we have several excellent examples of put options. In fact, most people use put options without perhaps knowing that it was a put option, but we all deal in put options in real life. And we'll also cover a critical aspect of put options that is different from call options. You've probably heard many a time that if you want protection for your stock portfolio, if you think there's a crash imminent in the near future, that you should buy some put options. So you've probably heard that on TV or you've probably read it somewhere. And this is very true. And we're going to look at the detailed characteristics of this feature, which is the protection feature. And put options are the ultimate protector. And in this respect, it's different. It's a different feature from call options. So this is a very key difference between put options and call options, and we'll be looking at that. And then, of course, just like we did for the call options course, we're going to look at the buyer-seller perspectives. We're going to look at their profit and loss diagrams, as well as their risk graphs. And we'll look at both the buyer separately and the seller separately and understand how these two parties are alike in many ways and different in many other ways. Then we'll just look at the expiry and settlement procedures, which is again the same as we covered in call options. And then in section 2, we're going to go into the Thinkorswim platform. So if you viewed the call options course, you saw that the section 1 was all the theoretical matter. And then in section 2, we had a number of lectures which covered the practical aspects of what call options are. So similarly, even in this course, we are going to cover the theory first. And in all options courses, there's some theory. And it's only after you understand this theory can you actually get on and go on with the trading. So it's very important. These are foundation level courses. So you have to get into the theory first, and then we'll apply the same example, the same theory on real options on Apple, just like we did in the call options course. So a brief recap of call options. If you recall, a call option is a right to buy the stock. You can create this call option on several strike prices. We saw that also. You have in the money, you have at the money, and you have out of the money. But when you buy a call option, it's basically a bullish position. So you need the stock to move up for you as the call buyer to make a profit on that position. And you need the move to be at least equal to the strike price plus the premium that you paid for the option. So your break-even price is the strike price plus the premium that you pay. In the call options course, we looked at a real estate deal where we were the buyer for a house that was worth about $1 million. We created an at-the-money call option at the $1 million strike price, and we paid a premium of $25,000 for that. Then we created an out-of-the-money call option, and we created an in-the-money call option. So similarly, even in put options, you have in the money, at the money, and out of the money put options. Now, because you've already done the call options, we don't need to take specific examples of all three types of options in this course. In fact, once we explain the concept, and then when we go over to the real Apple platform, that's when we're going to look at all three kinds of options: the in the money, the at the money, and the out of the money. And then we also looked at intrinsic and extrinsic value. And extrinsic value is also called as the time value. After that, we looked at the risk and the profit and loss graphs for both the buyer as well as the seller. So even in this course, we're going to follow a similar pattern. We're going to take a real world example. First, I want to explain the differences between a call option and a put option. Then we'll take up a real world example. We'll analyze that example. Then we'll look at the buyer-seller profiles. We'll look at the buyer-seller risk and reward situation. And we'll also be plotting their risk and reward profiles on the risk graphs. And then, of course, we'll move into the trading platform where we'll take up Apple options. And this time, we are going to deal with put options on Apple. In the next lecture, I want to take up the definition of put options and explain to you some of the key differences between call options and put options.